Did you watch the match with Sami and Ricochet?
Yeah, it was through a couple commercial breaks. I watched it.
Okay, I'm going to talk about that because I've had nothing good to say about Ricochet before, because every time I've seen him, he's gone instantly into the high school cheerleading routines and just flipping and flopping and, gesticulating about. Sami Zayn, I've said this also, his in-ring work is excellent. He's got no fucking physique whatsoever. He's stronger than he looks, and his work is great. So Ricochet actually wrestled here. There were tackles and drop downs, holds, my God. And after they did some wrestling, then Ricochet did one flippy spot, and it worked, and Sami took a powder. And then Ricochet went for a springboard, but Sami wiped his feet out, from under him, and he took a bump, and he got on him for some heat. And then Ricochet fired up at one point, but Sami pushed him off the top rope onto the barricade, which looked good, and he sold it, and that was their break spot. At some point in here, Michael Cole mentioned Pro Wrestling Chimpanzee, and Twitter lost their mind. Oh, they said that they first met in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla in a barn in Reseda. Anyway, coming back from the break, Sami's the one coming off the top rope, but Ricochet jumps up and hits him with a drop kick, and it was actually beautiful. That almost never happens. That whoever the kicker is times the guy coming off the top rope for whatever, super kick, drop kick, big boot, whatever, times it right. They did. Ricochet made a big comeback, hit a beautiful crossbody off the top rope, got a nice 2 count. They went back and forth. Heyman spilled a fucking drink all over Michael Cole's notes, which was a high point there. And then, they hit another couple of hot false finishes back and forth for 2 counts. And I was right. This is great. They've got them going. There's action. They're nailing all their shit. People are interested. And then Sami and one of the Usos get in the arguments, and Ricochet flips onto everybody. And then, bowls him over, and then pitches Sami back in and hits a shooting star off the top, which he didn't have to stand up there like Malachi Black. Is it Malachi Black that's doing the... No, it's Pac. I'm sorry. Pac and Black. I got confused. Pac stands up on top for 38 seconds before he jumps, but Ricochet came right off. Boom, 1, 2, 3, and got a big pop. This was the first wrestling match I've seen Ricochet have. I stopped watching them after the first few I saw that were just blah, blah. He's not a top guy because of his size, but he could be a middle card babyface that you care about if he's got a guy that can work to lead him and let him do the best stuff he can do, but not everything he can do, and not the phony stuff, but make it look like it makes sense. So, again, this was good. And then the bloodline was going to close in on poor old Ricky Ricochet, and here came Mosh Pit Jones out with a chair to ward off the bloodline. Your thoughts on the match?
Good match. Can't add too much more to what you said. I've never had a problem with Ricochet like you have. I have enjoyed some of his matches in the past. And Sami Zayn is a really talented guy, and he's, like you said before, he's one of the few guys that you can make a little silly and it works because it doesn't feel unnatural. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good open to the show so far, actually.
Even though he's a pain in the ass, I've never said Sami couldn't go.
That's the thing. Sometimes when people try to attack your Ring of Honor run, they'll say, he buried Steen and Generico, missing the entire point of what was happening with Steen and Generico. It was the opposite. He didn't bury them. He tried to work with them.
Well, yeah, gave Steen 6 months off so he could lose some fucking weight and arranged to get him paid for a payoff on the 12 Ring of Honor shows he would have missed in 6 months. They were running twice a month. And then brought him back at a top spot on a television production where he was then made the world champion. Even though he never lost that fucking weight. I mistreated him so badly, and he still never wanted to do anything. And what we would have liked out of good old El Generico was take the fucking mask off, learn how to speak English, and oh, by the way, let's pin you down on signing a long-term contract so we can make plans for you. But none of those things happened, so he wandered away.
So he signed to NXT, took off his mask, and did everything
and
you were
learned
going to do with
talk.
him. Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of learning how to talk, Karrion Kross and Scarlett, they're in black and white. They got spooky music. They got spooky verbiage in the pre-tape. These two do it well, but was this stuff even better when 100 different people in every company weren't doing it?
Yeah, there's the problem right there. We see way too much of this kind of promo package, whatever you want to call it. It's too frequent now, so it doesn't seem special.
But again, they do it well, and they're coming after McIntyre, so tick-tock on that thing.